Hello there, and welcome to our third Friday Hurdlehoppers teaching. This is a series of teachings on reasons that women gave for becoming spiritually stagnant, for not being able to put time, effort, and focus on their spiritual growth. So I surveyed them, came up with this list, and today we are going to focus on lack of spiritual hunger as one hurdle that women need to hop over in order to get back into the growth mode. So, lack of spiritual hunger. Jesus tells us, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." And we've all come to the table after having snacked too much, and we don't have an appetite. And so we're going to take a look at appetites, at what steals the appetite for spiritual growth in a Christian's life, some possibilities anyway, because we want blessedness to characterize our inner self, right? And so when we hunger and thirst for righteousness, we will be filled. We won't have a gnawing hunger or thirst that can never be satiated. We will be filled with righteousness, and that's where blessedness, or that state of it being well with my soul, that's how we get to that state, by being filled with righteousness. Here's a quote from a wise woman: "Filling our spirits with delightful but non-nourishing things will not stop the aching deep within us. It may satisfy us temporarily. It may feel like enough. However, in the end, our souls are left wanting, still searching for the true nourishing satisfaction of a deeper relationship with God." Unsatisfied spiritual hunger is ravenous, grasping for anything close to us that resembles sustenance. The junk food of life tempts us with the false promise of rest and escape, but it can't sustain our souls. Ultimately, it is Christ that fuels our faith and satisfies our growling spirits. That's by Sarah Valentour from wellwateredwomen.com. So let's talk about the junk foods of life. One of the obstacles to spiritual growth is soothing in other ways. Binge watching anything, Google research, Amazon shopping therapy, sugar consumption, alcohol consumption, junk food, mindless scrolling on screens, following the lives of the rich and famous, romance. The prevalence of technology and entertainment distract us from the eternal and divert our attention and our energies away from spiritual matters. And this can lead to diminishing spiritual hunger. So if you've ever been dug into junk food for a while, the good stuff stops being attractive or appetizing. And spiritual growth requires effort. And so we need to be careful about not stealing our appetite through other ways of soothing. I am an evangelical girl, but the Lord just led me years ago to enter into a Lenten fast each year. There are some Anglican churches in the area that follow fasting, as well as many have experience with this if they have a Catholic background. I didn't have either of those church backgrounds, but the Lord led me to give up. And so this year, 2024, I'm walking through 40 days of Lent on my Instagram account, and just talk about this at length. So hope you'll hop over there and see the insights, the wisdom, the tricks and hacks to giving up and detoxing from the junk foods of life. Another very typical reason that Jesus gets crowded out is overbusy. Modern American life is fast-paced, it's demanding, it's an idol of our land, where we wake up, do too much, and fall asleep without having time to work on our own hearts. So being stretched at the seams means that the heart is neglected, and this is a biggie in the American life. I had a great revolution in my heart, a great conviction from the Lord, and a great transformation in my own overbusyness, which was a lifelong pursuit of mine just recently. And last month, I ended up creating an entire workshop on how to tame our time. You can look for those teachings at Heart on YouTube, and you can also get your hands on the workbook. It's like a 19-page PDF, completely free. You can download it, and then I created a bunch of teachings. I love this topic. I believe we each are given 24 hours, and if we determine how to prioritize and manage our time, we will live with peace and joy rather than the same kind of feelings we get when we overspend money, where you get that stress of not enough money, too many bills. It's the same metaphor with time. If we try to pack too much into a day, into a week, into a month, into a year, into a life, we will constantly be going to bed defeated. So the favorite topic of mine. So go ahead and check that out. It's a whole mini course that you can take at your own pace, with lots of worksheets. It's a very personal endeavor because everybody's got different stressors in their life, different responsibilities. Sometimes we realize through this process we need to make big changes. Sometimes we just need to tweak and refine things. So go ahead and check out that resource so that you don't have "I'm too busy" as one of your excuses. So let's hop that hurdle. Materialism. Let's face it, American culture emphasizes material success and the accumulation of things, of stuff. And if we're not busy trying to acquire it, we're busy taking care of it, storing it, dusting it, reorganizing it. But many people put their entire, life pursuit is to gain a certain size house or a certain level of luxury car. And that leaves us feeling unfulfilled. Material success does not address the heart, and it might cover up feelings or symptoms of lack of spiritual health. But we can end up feeling quite empty and dissatisfied. If you do watch the lives of the rich and famous, you'll see that if they don't have Jesus, things fall apart at some point. So Lent is just a great time, another plug for Lent, to give up to give up voluntarily anything that is owning you. Okay, again, I speak about it at length on Instagram, so I don't want to spend time here giving a Lenten lesson, but there is much good in giving up. Let's just leave it at that. Individualism. We have a culture's obsession with individualism in my country. And even as Christians, we may prioritize ourself and our achievements over spiritual growth. It is very much an American way of which we're proud. We don't like to be told what to do. We don't like to let others go first. And so we need to really recognize that Christian life is meant to be lived in group. That is a sheep who is in danger because he's isolated. It's one of the main tactics of the devil to attack an isolated Christian. He likes to keep us far away from the word, far away from the shepherd, far away from prayer, far away from other Christians. So American individualism, just as a cultural norm, can cause Christians to think they can just do online church, they can just do online courses, they don't need to be in a small group. But the opposite is true. We are meant to live in flock. That's where we're safe. That's where our wrong thinking can get corrected. There's safety in numbers, and of course, that's what it will look like in a human setting. Prayer groups, Bible study groups. I populate my week with group activities where I will be noticed if I'm missing, where people know me, where I know them. We're praying for each other. We're supporting each other as we walk the walk on the planet. So very important. So important that women cite it as the third top reason why they don't progress or meet their own spiritual growth goals is they're isolated. They don't have any kind of accountability. They mean to do it, they purchase the course, they join the group, but then they don't do the work. So we will next month address the problem, the hurdle of isolation and lack of accountability. And notice for all of these teachings on the third Friday of each month, there is a PDF notes page attached. So if you get the calendar, you'll have a place to take notes every single week. The Too Busy and Overcommitted, the Time Tamers workshop is like a one-time big deal. But all these other hurdle hoppers are not entire workshops. They're just small teachings like you're getting today. This is a biggie. Significant trauma or loss can lead to a loss of spiritual hunger due to a struggle to find meaning or purpose, actually often due to a lack of trust in God. We end up, our relationship with God can be severely tested and challenged when something really, really hard happens. We kind of keep our distance from God. We become frightened of him. Also, a lot of people have experienced something negative within the church and they become disillusioned and don't want to give it a try again. So inner pain is a real thing. It's a real hurdle. I'd say seek prayer, seek a mentor, seek a counsel so you can work through it, because it's bad enough that the trauma happened, but for the trauma to continue having a life, a half-life, moving forward by preventing you from spiritual growth is just not fair. So fight back. Bad enough that it happened. Don't let it steal years of rich life in Christ. So deal with it. I will tell you that in the HEARTCleanse curriculum, so HEARTCleanse is 4 books long, 2 semesters long. The first semester is called Foundations. I find that we need to get the foundations solid and anchored before we can enter into the really tender, wounded parts of the heart, which is what we do in Deep Cleanse. So this is not at the moment a plug for Deep Cleanse, because right now our Deep Cleanse workshop is in session. We're not going to have new Deep Cleanse participants for quite some time. I'm just telling you that when and if it's well, it will be available again, but not anytime soon, that this curriculum addresses wounds of the heart, idolatry, bitterness, trauma. It's not an end-all fix, but we do address it because it is a true hurdle to spiritual growth to have any of those things in your heart. One book that is available right now, so those books are available on Amazon. They just don't make much sense without the teachings that go with it. But Deep Dive into the Divine is a book that we use with the Deep Cleanse in the Deep Cleanse workshop. And that is simply a study of the amazing nature of God. And that is a study. If you have issues with God because of trauma, that might be a study that might bless you, because you are looking at scripture, at who God really is, and perhaps that could be of use to help you distinguish the false ideas of God that you have from the one true God. Lack of know-how. You perhaps came to Christ, but your church doesn't offer discipleship. You don't really know how to do it, how to walk the walk, how to grow. We don't want someone who is saved to just be set aside. They need discipline, they need training and prayer and how to read the Bible. And so if you came to Christ, you know you're saved, but no one's ever taken you by the hand, we have a course for you. So our like I said, the HEARTCleanse course is 4 books long. Right now, Foundations workshops are happening, and Deep Cleanse workshops are a Deep Cleanse workshop is happening right now. Next fall, in late August of 2024, we will have a completely renovated Foundations workshop. But for right now, because people ask, just until August 1st, I'm offering all the tapes for book 1, all the tapes for book 2 separately. If you feel so inclined that you want to just do it on your own, I prefer doing the workshops live by Zoom. But if you just are in the mood to do a do-it-yourself, I separated it into 2 books, so that you can just get a taste of it with 1 book without much investment, and then get the second book later. The books are actually now 2 books because they were really thick before they were published, when they were just a binder that we put together. But you can get the teaching tapes at heartcleanse.org to either book, and you can get the books through Amazon. But if that's not where you're at, you don't need to add one more thing. There's so many things. HeartCleanse is all about equipping you now with actionable ways to get growing. So heartcleanse.org/spirit boosters will get you this very handy, actionable, brightly colored PDF of daily spirit boosters. It comes from one of our chapters in Deep Cleanse called Fighting Off Spiritual Depression. So it's just a very handy, actionable, try this once a day and watch your spirits kind of inflate again. Game changers. If you don't have time to take a course or sit under someone's teaching, read books by people that are inspiring. That document right there can be yours, again, free of charge. It's all my #1 authors that brought about great fruit in my own life. I'm just sharing my top 10 list with you. Then there is also another actionable, what can I do starting now every day handout PDF that you can get. And here's what it says on the back. Making small incremental changes in habits can lead to significant and remarkable transformation in the long run. Making small, consistent investments in your personal spiritual growth yields big dividends. Lean on HeartCleanse will help you get started. Do it again and again and again, and you will enjoy the fruit. One of these PDFs, if you act on it, can change your mindset and can get you on a growth mode, step 1 of your growth mode. It can, we're here to help. So pick something, right? Now, some people aren't growing because they don't even know if they believe in God. If that's you and you're here, yay, we're glad to have you. I think God's got you on a path. He's calling you. Or perhaps you are a believer who had some things happen to you that just make you question the goodness of God. So if you're skeptical, if you're not trusting who God is right now, or you don't even know if he exists, on the 4th Friday of every month, we are going to take a look at different attributes of God according to Scripture. So actually every Friday of every month this year, 2024, there's something on YouTube for you. So Friday Faith Builders is guided prayer. If you've never learned how to pray and you'd like a little help, the PDF calendar that you get for that has 11 prayer templates that you can use as often as you want. They'll be at your disposal. heartcleanse.org Friday Foundations. You will also get a calendar as well as 11 PDFs of the very basics of the Christian faith. All of this is free of charge. You don't have to join HeartCleanse. It's yours to take and use, and you get in both the First Friday Faith Builders and Second Friday Foundations calendars, you get all the PDFs that you need for the rest of the year, so you don't even need to come back to the YouTube teachings if you're that individualistic. But there will be YouTube teachings every first Friday about live prayer, and every second Friday about foundations of the Christian faith. Third Fridays we'll do more of what we've been doing today, and then fourth Fridays what I just mentioned. So these are 4 pillars of Christian growth that I have prayed about and determined are really important to keep handing out to women. So that's what we'll be doing this year. So get your hands on any of those calendars and join us every Friday. All right, next month, the 3rd Friday Hurdlehopper, as I said, we'll be talking about isolation and lack of accountability. And I hope that you will join us next week when we take on another Father Fact. All right, so keep on growing, and hope to see you either on Instagram or on YouTube. Make today be a fabulous day.